Ladies, here's a fact that might surprise you. By age 50, almost 1 in 2 women will experience noticeable hair thinning. And let's be honest, it doesn't creep in politely. One day, your ponytail feels half its size, or you catch yourself under bright lighting and think, oh no, when did my scalp start stealing the spotlight? But here's the twist. Thinning hair doesn't actually have to make you look older. With the wrong cut, yes, it can drag your whole look down. But with the right one, it can literally lift your face, brighten your features, and make people wonder if you've been on vacation or maybe discovered the world's best skincare secret. And no, I'm not talking about pricey treatments, miracle shampoos, or anything that drains your wallet. The real secret weapon is a smart haircut, one that uses shape, balance, and a little optical illusion to give you back the fullness and radiance you thought you'd lost. So, in today's video, I'll show you 4 powerful cuts that don't just transform your hair, they transform your confidence. These are styles I recommend to women every single day in my salon, and the results are nothing short of incredible. Especially the final cut, the one most women never expect, but often end up loving the most. If you're new here, welcome to Radiant Over 60. This is where we remind each other that beauty doesn't fade with age, it evolves. Hit subscribe if you want weekly inspiration on hair, style, and confidence. And let's dive right in. Now, let's start with the first cut, a timeless classic that builds instant fullness, the Volume Maximizer Bob. Let's be honest, ladies. There comes a time when we glance in the mirror and notice more scalp than strands. Suddenly, our hair feels like it's working against us instead of for us. You're not alone. Nearly half of women over 50 experience noticeable thinning, and for many, it feels like the single feature that ages them faster than anything else. But here's the truth. Thinning hair isn't a sign that your beauty is fading. More often, it's simply a sign that your haircut hasn't caught up with where you are today. And one of the smartest, most flattering solutions I've seen again and again is what I like to call the Volume Maximizer Bob, a jaw-length bob that builds an instant wall of hair. Here's why it works. When your hair is cut blunt, right at the jawline, not shorter, not longer, every strand ends at the same point. That simple trick creates a visual density that can double the look of your hair. It frames your face beautifully, draws the eye to your features instead of your crown, and gives you back that sense of fullness we often miss as the years go by. If layers are needed, they're kept internal and invisible, so the outer line remains strong, structured, and full. I'll never forget Linda, one of my clients in her early 60s. She'd worn her hair long for decades, even as it grew thinner year by year. By the time she sat in my chair, she admitted she avoided photos, kept her hair pulled back, and felt like her reflection no longer belonged to her. When I suggested a chin-length bob, her first reaction was, I don't know if I'm brave enough. But she took the leap. A few weeks later, she called me absolutely glowing. She said, people keep telling me I look 8 years younger. My daughter even said I look fresher now than I did at 50. That's the kind of transformation this cut can deliver, not just in appearance, but in spirit. Now let's talk styling, because the cut is only half the story. To get that full, bouncy bob, start with a lightweight volumizing mousse at the roots. Then blow dry with a round brush, lifting at the crown instead of flattening it down. The goal is lift from the root so the hair moves with you rather than collapsing. And here's another professional secret: color placement. Soft highlights, just 1 or 2 shades whiter than your base, create depth and dimension, making your hair appear thicker strand by strand. But avoid heavy, dramatic contrasts. Too much difference between light and dark can actually emphasize thinning areas. Maintenance matters too. This bob needs a trim every 5 to 6 weeks to preserve that crisp, blunt edge. When the ends begin to feather out, the illusion of fullness disappears. But here's the good news. As it grows just a touch, the added weight can actually make the style look denser, so you'll still enjoy weeks of effortless confidence. The real lesson here is simple. You don't always need a drastic solution or expensive treatments. A thoughtful haircut can completely shift the way you see yourself and the way others see you. So let me ask you, have you ever dared to cut your hair shorter after years of keeping it long? If you have, how did it make you feel? And if not, what's holding you back? Share your story in the comments because I promise another woman out there is waiting to hear it. And if you're wondering, but what if my thinning isn't even? What if some areas are fuller and others more sparse? Don't worry. In the next section, we'll look at a cut designed specifically to camouflage uneven thinning. It's like having a personal magician for your hair. The thing about thinning hair, it's rarely uniform. For some women, the crown area seems to give up first, leaving that dreaded see-through spot at the top. For others, the temples start to recede, making ponytails or updos feel impossible. And for many, it's an all-over thinning that just makes the whole style look flat. In fact, about 40% of women over 50 report uneven thinning patterns, meaning some areas are noticeably sparser than others. That's where the Strategic Camouflage Cut comes in. It's not a one-size-fits-all style, but one that's tailored to your specific pattern of thinning. So, how does it work? If the crown is your biggest concern, the cut incorporates longer layers starting just below the crown designed to cascade forward. These layers act like a veil, softly covering the thinning area while blending seamlessly with the rest of your hair. Add in a set of side-swept bangs, and suddenly the eye is drawn straight to your beautiful eyes and cheekbones instead of the top of your head. If your temples or hairline are where you feel most vulnerable, this cut uses face framing pieces that curve inward. They create shadows and softness right where you need them most. The trick is to avoid pulling the hair straight back, because that only highlights what you're trying to hide. Instead, let those pieces fall naturally forward, turning what once felt like a weakness into a feature that frames your face. And if your thinning is more diffuse, all over, this is where we bring in invisible layering. It's a technique where the inner layers are cut to add movement and body, but the outer edge remains solid and strong. That way your hair has life, bounce, and texture without sacrificing the thickness of your perimeter. It's the best of both worlds, airy movement without see-through ends. Let me share a real example. Carol, one of my clients, is 58. For years, she wore her hair pulled back into a ponytail, but she confessed she always felt embarrassed because her temples had become so sparse. She told me, every time I looked in photos, all I could see were those bare spots. We created a layered cut with gentle face framing pieces and soft bangs that naturally fell across her temples. The transformation was instant. A month later, she attended a formal dinner, hair styled down, softly waved. She told me afterward, "For the first time in years, I didn't worry about my hair once. I just enjoyed myself." That, to me, is what true camouflage is. Not hiding, but redirecting attention to where it belongs. Now, styling plays a huge role here. Start with a root lifting spray right where you need the most coverage. When blow drying, direct the airflow toward the area you want to disguise, encouraging the hair to fall in that direction. A texturizing spray adds grip and fullness so strands don't collapse. And here's a secret many of my clients love: a tinted dry shampoo that matches your hair color. Not only does it refresh between washes, it also creates the illusion of thicker roots and fills in sparse spots. So let me ask you, where do you notice thinning the most? Is it the crown, the temples, or a general loss of volume all over? Drop your answer in the comments, because your experience might be exactly what another woman needs to hear. And remember, the beauty of the strategic camouflage cut is that it doesn't fight against your hair, it works with it. Instead of trying to cover everything up, it intelligently directs the eye, letting your best features shine. And speaking of shining, the next style takes things a step further. It's not just about camouflage or volume, it's about turning back the clock. Up next, we'll look at what I call the age reversal cut, a style that doesn't just make your hair look better, but makes you look years younger. As we move into our 60s, many of us notice subtle but undeniable changes in our faces. The cheeks that once looked plump and lifted now appear softer. The jawline isn't quite as defined, and fine lines around the forehead and eyes become part of our daily reflection. Nearly 70% of women over 60 say facial sagging is their #1 aging concern. But here's the exciting part. The right haircut can act almost like a non-surgical facelift. And that's exactly what the age reversal cut was designed to do. This style typically falls around the shoulders, long enough to provide movement, but not so long that it drags your features down. From that foundation, we add graduated layers, starting around ear level. These layers are cut at a subtle upward angle, creating bounce and lift, almost like invisible scaffolding for your face. To finish, we incorporate side-swept bangs that soften forehead lines and draw attention straight to your eyes. Think of it as contouring, but instead of makeup, your hair does the work for you. Let me introduce you to Nancy, a radiant woman I worked with not long ago. At 65, she had always worn her hair long, well past her shoulders. She admitted to me, "Every time I looked in the mirror, my hair just seemed to pull my whole face down." So we decided to try the age reversal cut. Afterward, when she went to a family gathering, her sister leaned in and whispered, "You look like you're in your early 50s again. What's your secret?" Nancy told me later, with the biggest smile, "I didn't change anything else, just my haircut. And yet I feel 10 years lighter." That's the power of strategic layering. Styling plays an important role here. To really maximize the lifting effect, apply a volumizing mousse to damp hair and blow dry with a round brush. The secret is in the direction. Always lift the hair up and away from your face, never drag it down. This creates that youthful swoop that frames the cheeks and jawline. And don't forget about color. Adding soft, face-framing highlights, just 1 or 2 shades brighter than your base tone, reflects light around your face, mimicking the natural glow of younger skin. Meanwhile, a slightly warmer overall tone adds richness and warmth, instantly making your complexion look more vibrant. So let me ask you, when you look in the mirror, do you ever feel like your hair is pulling your face down instead of lifting it up? Have you tried shoulder-length styles before, or have you stuck with very short or very long cuts? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments because so many women can relate to that feeling of wanting a little lift without resorting to drastic measures. The real takeaway here is that hair isn't just hair. It can be your most natural form of anti-aging. With the right cut, it frames, contours, and rejuvenates. No needles, no surgery, just thoughtful design. And if you're wondering, but what if I don't just want to look younger? What if I want a style that makes me feel confident every single day, no matter what? Well, that brings us to our final stop. Up next, we'll explore the Confidence Restoration Cut, a look designed to help you fall in love with your hair again, whether you're at a dinner party, running errands, or simply enjoying your morning coffee. By the time we reach our 70s, many of us aren't looking for a style that demands constant upkeep or hours in front of the mirror. What we crave instead is simplicity, something that looks polished with minimal effort, adapts to every occasion, and, most importantly, makes us feel like ourselves again. Nearly 65% of women over 65 say convenience is the top factor when choosing a hairstyle. And that's exactly what the Confidence Restoration Cut is designed to deliver. This cut is a balanced blend of everything we've already talked about. The fullness of the volume maximizer bob, the smart disguising layers of the Strategic Camouflage Cut, and the youthful lift of the Age Reversal Cut. The result? A style that's versatile, easy to manage, and timeless. It's the haircut equivalent of a little black dress. You can dress it up, dress it down, and it always looks intentional. The magic of this cut lies in its proportions. It creates a silhouette that flatters your natural face shape, while maximizing every strand of hair you have. It works with your texture, not against it. So whether your hair is fine, wavy, or straight, it feels like the style belongs to you. And here's what makes it special. It's designed to look good with very little styling. As I like to say, it's a true wake-up-ready haircut. Let me share Susan's story. At 70, Susan told me she was tired of spending 20 minutes every morning trying to coax volume into her thinning hair. She's active, plays golf twice a week, and wanted a style that could keep up with her lifestyle. We created a Confidence Restoration Cut tailored to her face shape and hair texture. Now she spends less than 5 minutes in the morning running a bit of leave-in cream through her hair before heading out the door. On days when she wants a little extra flair, she adds soft waves with a combing wand. "It feels like my hair finally fits my life," she told me. "I don't think about it anymore. I just enjoy my day." That's what true confidence looks like. Styling tips for this cut couldn't be simpler. A lightweight leave-in product keeps strands smooth and manageable. On busy mornings, let your hair air dry for an effortless, natural look. For evenings out, add a few loose waves or curls to create softness and movement. And the best part? This cut grows out beautifully. Even as it gets longer, the proportions hold their shape, so you never go through that awkward in-between phase. Now, I'd love to know, does your current hairstyle feel like it supports your lifestyle? Or does it sometimes feel like extra work? Do you want a haircut that makes you look stylish or one that also makes you feel free? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your answer might inspire another woman who's in the exact same place. The lesson here is simple. The best hairstyle isn't just the one that looks good in photos. It's the one that makes you feel at ease, confident, and ready for whatever your day holds. Beauty after 60 isn't about perfection. It's about freedom. And now that we've explored all 4 transformative styles, we can see how each one offers not just a new look, but a new way of feeling. Because at the end of the day, hair isn't only about aesthetics. It's about how it empowers you to live fully, joyfully, and on your own terms. So, let's recap. Today we looked at 4 powerful cuts designed to bring thinning hair back to life. The Volume Maximizer Bob that instantly builds fullness, the Strategic Camouflage Cut that smartly disguises sparse areas, the Age Reversal Cut that lifts and rejuvenates your features, and the Confidence Restoration Cut, the style that feels like it was made just for you. Here's what I hope you take away. Thinning hair isn't a limitation. It's simply an invitation to choose smarter, more flattering styles that let your beauty shine in new ways. Because honestly, life after 50 is too short for flat hair. And flat coffee. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 4 cuts speaks to you the most? Drop it in the comments, because your story might be exactly what another woman needs to hear. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe to Radiant Over 60 for more weekly tips on hair, style, and confidence. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep proving that radiance never retires.